Hello, Ben here. I just wanted to talk about a few VR improvements I've been making to the game recently. So it's been very useful having lots of feedback from various different VR players, hearing about the different ways you play the game. So first up, I'm now defaulting to the third person view or the follow cam that you can see here. So this way I don't have to turn my head. It's more like playing 2D. You can sit in a chair and play. I've still got the top-down view if you'd rather play standing, but I think this is the way people would prefer. There's also the cockpit view still there as well. I'll talk about in a minute. So I've scaled it down a bit, the third-person view. So it's a small ship in front of me, maybe 3 inches, sort of 6 centimeters across. Of course, bigger ships are available. And I've got this VR menu to get to all the various screens and including these VR camera options. So, so I mentioned the size. So you can see here I can change the scale. So if I do it right up, it's now quite big in front of me. I don't know if you'll be able to see in 2D but trust me, it's now maybe 15, 20 centimeters across. What's that in inches? About 8 inches, something like that. And if I scale it right back, it's now maybe an inch across. So you see it fit through that hole. Inch across, 2.5 centimeters, that kind of thing. So you can sort of customize your view to how you like to see it. You know, I quite like the small view. It makes everything feel like a small little toy, and you can kind of get your head around it a bit more easily. But maybe people prefer the big view, and you've got that option. Okay, so the other thing, of course, you can do is the height. If you want to have a view right behind your ship, so you can line up, then you've got that. Or if you want to be looking down, you've got that. So the other thing I've changed is I've added this flat HUD. So if I do this, see it's more like the sort of 2D display there. It's just a square running in front of you. This means that you can play with a joypad. You don't have to have the HUD attached to the controllers, which again allows you another way to play. But also, if you have one of these other VR sets that don't have hand controllers, like the Windows Mixed Reality sets, then you can use the joypad instead. And it actually plays pretty well with the joypad, I think, almost easier than with these Vive controllers. But the point is, I'm trying to allow all the different ways people want to play. Okay, but if the HUD's too small for you, you can make it bigger, smaller, and move it further away. So maybe if you want a huge one that's further away, you can have that. I've also added this angled mode. So I don't know if you can see, but all the panels point at my head with this one. I think this mode probably needs a bit of work. There's the other one I've been thinking about, where you could have it all attached to your face, so when you turn around, it could go with you. My earlier experiments with that weren't all that good, but maybe it could work. You know, a bit like Iron Man. Okay, so there's those modes. Flat mode's quite good, and then the views as before, top down. So you can look down. This is designed for standing space. I'm sat down at the moment. It doesn't work all that well, but this is if you just want, it feels like you're flying around in your room. Maybe it's more a novelty thing than your standard way of playing. There's also the cockpit view here. I plan to improve the cockpit view a bit more later, but it's already a bit better. You can see out the windows, but I think it'd be good if you could kind of see out everywhere, and maybe if all these screens were a bit closer. They also could use some remodeling. Okay, so I think that's everything I had to talk about. So sorry to those who felt a bit frustrated with the things not working smoothly initially, but I'm hoping now with the extra work I've put in, it should be a great, or maybe not great, but a good VR experience. You know, certainly should be as easy or as fun as playing with a joypad in 2D mode, but plus with all of this VR goodness of being able to look around, which I still really like. For the future, I mentioned I want to remodel the cockpit and improve it. Maybe add in a few extra fun things in there. I thought maybe I've got the chat floating just there. It might be cool to have like another screen to look down at for the chat, and then maybe if all these screens were around me a bit. And I thought maybe might be fun to have something behind you, like maybe some shelves with some things on. That kind of thing might be fun. Yeah, and if there's anything that you'd like to see or that could make VR better, that'd be good. One person did suggest voice commands, which I think is a great idea. I really like the idea that you could just say like radar, and then the radar would pop up, or you know, hyperspeed, engage, autopilot. You know, that might be fun. And also that would make the in-game chat a bit easier, because at the moment, in order to chat, you have to get this window up and then press on here and then use this. So obviously that's a bit of a slow process compared to typing, or indeed compared to talking. So if you could just press chat and then say something, and it appear in the in-game chat, then that would help connect the VR players and the non-VR players a bit more together, which I think would be fun. So we'll see how this all pans out. Okay, thanks again for your patience, and thanks for supporting the game so far. You know, it's been exciting. You know, a bit stressful at times, but you know, it's been overall a positive experience, and I'm really pleased with how it's all coming along. Okay, so thank you all. See you again soon.